welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I wanted to discuss a topic that is fairly serious, and in regards to the recent release or review release of God of War, and my concerns revolving around the story in that particular reimagining of the series. I wanted to talk about the new direction Kratos has been taken, and in general, uh, why masculinity may have been frowned upon in the game, and touch base on that. And before I get there, I want to talk about female characters in games. Like you see this. This is pretty you know sexualized, I guess you could say, under boob and whatnot. But she looks like a very commanding, very strong-willed character. And I'll be honest, I like creating female characters for a couple of reasons, and it's not what you think. It's not because of the sexy looks of the outfit on the under boobs or whatever. I actually think I like female characters that are like powerful. You know, I like their fashion design as an artist. I like their outfits more than the male counterparts in a lot of games. I think female characters can be strong. They can be just as amazing, as important as as intriguing as the male counterparts. And I create them because you know there's a lot of design elements that you can't do with a male character that you can do with a female character. You can really make your female character stand out. Like you can see my character here. She's got like a old 20s looking haircut. She's looking very powerful, very dominatrix, like very very commanding of the thing. And in the gameplay, even she's presented as very powerful character. Her class is the Brawler, one of the most powerful classes in the game, and I enjoy it. I enjoy watching her fight. I enjoy watching her be a badass, doing good, strong things. I like her, representing me in the game. Now, not everybody's like that, and some people like the sexy design. They like, how the camera follows the curves and, the underboob and all that stuff. But there's that. But like, when you take a character that is one thing, say Kratos, he is very masculine. He has been from the get-go. He's very testosterone driven, very angry, very vengeful character. He's very violent. And then you do a 180, you tone him down, you make him compassionate, you make him humorous, as some reviewers have said, and he just, like, for whatever reason, and it appears to me in the game that the Atreus, his son, has a role to play in that actual change in his attitude and his wife and whatnot, the passing of his wife and all that, and him having to learn. It looks like he's learning lessons from his son, basically, like how to be different than the angry usual self he was. Now, well, I'm not entirely against that, and the story direction could be good in its own right. I think doing a 180 from the character that was Kratos to the character that is now Kratos could have been intentionally led through certain political ideologies or the current social climate of the world. And I think in that respects it could be bad for the game. I think if anything it could turn some people away from it. People who like me enjoyed Kratos for the action hero that he was, the impactful story. He like lost his family, like he was fighting against all odds to seek revenge on those who did him wrong, and and he went all out. So he toppled the gods. That's who he was. And here in this new game, he's like he's still doing the battling, but he seems to have like he's battling his inner demons as well, I guess, and for a reason. I guess the developer decided, whatever he just he needed a change, and I think that was influenced by certain things in the world. I think certain groups pushed for it. Like I was actually researching it earlier, just a moment ago, seeing that Anita had, previously, like maybe a year or two ago or something, had actually touched base on how toxic Kratos' masculinity was, how bad he was towards women, and while it is agreeable to some extent, he did kind of hook up with the ladies in the God of War series, and that's just part of the game, and that could be off-putting to somebody, but like the rest of the story was masculine as well, but not toxically so, and I think what I'm getting at is like the changes that have seemingly infected the series and this new game have reached into Kratos' character himself, his actual self, as like he's struggling to be more compassionate or less masculine, if you will, and I think I think that change of character was forced. I think it's not it wasn't looked into in the reviews too much. They beat around it. They sort of like passed over it as just a change in the direction, and game direction change happens. It happens in everything, entertainment wise, and you're gonna see characters change over time and evolve, but this was a complete 180. This was a turnaround for Kratos, and to that extent, I feel it was more forced. I think it was more influenced than it should have been. I mean, if it had been a gradual turnaround, because like the Kratos I see in the trailers, um, in the gameplay and stuff, he seems like a shell of his former self. He's like just tired, worn, and without purpose other than trying to begrudgingly teach his son what he should or shouldn't do as a man, And not while I've not seen the game, myself and played it and really seen how much they changed the character in that direction, I feel I imagine that a lot of it was changed in such a way as to add a moral direction to steer the audience to think a certain way, but I am gonna see the game through. I'm gonna probably get it eventually and do a character breakdown of Kratos, how far they went, how they changed his attitude, how they broke him down in such a way that he changed his whole life or whatever, and just through his son took the direction that he did, because it does feel like he's being led more by his son through fatherhood than he is being himself. That he is just doing what needs to be done to just change his
You need my
ways or
help?
whatever. But
You need my help?
but as you can see at the bottom of the quote or the message comment to the spectators that I have here, it is, if a woman exhibited masculine qualities, would that masculinity be considered toxic? And this is a question, a very valid question, because women can exhibit what is masculine qualities of men empowerment, control, domination, in the workforce, like commanding spirit, uh, and it's not just geared a man's qualities these days. And would that be considered toxic in the same light as the potential toxic look on Kratos is, as a angry, testosterone driven man who's out for revenge, blood, and just trying to right the wrongs in his own way, uh, trying to get revenge for his family and stuff, and but like, would that be considered like you know toxic if the tables were turned and a female character was exhibiting uh, such qualities or personality quirks or aspects, and I think it would be hard for like certain groups to argue against that. They'd probably beat around the bush, probably you know probably just avoid the question, just beat around and just say that that's a different thing altogether, um, but it's the same thing as turning a masculine man into a more feminine man, trying to push them to have their feelings or whatnot. Like, there are men like that. There are men, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. There are men who are into their feelings and whatnot, and it's not considered toxic for that, but it is considered toxic to be a man per se, and masculine. And so, would the tables turned be any different for a woman who was exhibiting, you know, more masculine qualities and you know, doing it that way instead of being more feminine? And I've never seen that been raised, in the question, or question at all much in the arguments, and because you can't have it both ways. Like, if masculinity is toxic, it's got to be toxic for women who exhibit it too. Otherwise, it's a contradiction. It's a hypocrisy. So there's that, and that's the reason I brought up the question, basically, and how it ties into the God of War, state of God of War, and its current state. But yes, food for thought. And like I said, I like powerful women in video games. Tomb Raider, loved the game back in the day, and she wasn't particularly the hottest looking Polygon to really flood the market back on the early PlayStation days. And even so, I liked her in the game because she was cool. She was a cool character to take on as, and had her commanding role. Even in the new games, I kind of like those. Very commanding character. Had those masculine qualities, and it's not always as straightforward as people make it out to be. Like, these different personality traits and things like masculinity, femininity, and all that stuff. It's just not always clean cut as people want to make it be, and arguing either way, it's just gonna either make you look hypocritical, or it's gonna make you look, you know, whatever, biased or wrong, outright wrong, or just and it's just thing to consider next time you choose sides on something, like as a game developer, or as a creator, or as a person speaking out on behalf of something. Just consider how does this apply to everyone and everything. Does this really have standing in reality? Is it a thing that holds ground? Is it something that that really should be done, or as a creator should be done, or should be focused on, or especially as a creator, when you're creating something and you feel forced to change the direction of your game because of so and so said this, so and so thinks this, or this particular group does not think the original direction you had taken was the best, the best intentions or whatever. Consider what it how true that is to the reality of things, and see if it's really something you want to back with your because you're gonna either lose some faithful followers, you're gonna put off some people, you're gonna ruin franchises potentially, you're gonna ruin things over opinions and feelings. And people, like, characters, they can be either or. They can be masculine, they can be feminine, they can be anything, still be good at the end of the day. The problem is when they are forced to be either or, and not molded in such a way as to naturally become that thing. So I think I'm remaining skeptical about God of War, the direction it's taken, and until I see it myself, until I see what they did with Kratos, and which direction they took his character, then I'm going to remain skeptical. And to me, through all I've seen so far, which is limited, to be honest, it does look like Atreus plays a role in his changing opinion and his evolving state of perception, as that's what it is to be a man, So, but that is my opinion, and it's just an opinion now. And until I get my hands on the game, play through it, and see what it's all about, it's only going to be an opinion. I will not. I will go in open-minded. I will go and see it for myself, and I will do a character breakdown and see what Kratos from so many years ago, see how he turned, and if it was more forced than it should have been, or if it was a gradual, believable change that makes sense. Because I'm feeling, from what I've seen, that perhaps Sony Santa Monica kind of adapted to the social climate of the day to mold Kratos into something he normally wouldn't have been. They may have felt pressured, they may have felt cornered, maybe they felt the lack of cells of God of War 3 remastered or whatever just did not hold up due to the lashback of the old mini games and whatnot. But we'll see. I will definitely give you that breakdown, and give you my thoughts on that. I will do the transition. I played all the God of War games, played through them, enjoyed them. Got the luxury of reviewing God of War 3 for Sony Santa Monica. Not this one though, and kind of unfortunate. One thing that I need to talk about is the seemingly cherry-picked group of reviewers that were chosen to actually cover the game. The usual suspects, uh, the journalists with an agenda, as I like to call them, the ones who get flown out to events, the ones who receive extra things on top of what they have, and that could easily be influenced, their opinion bought out, and it concerns me that I didn't see any up and coming outlets that were outside of that realm of usual bias, taking their well thought take on the game on their own sites, on their own sites. I think it might. It seems suspect to me. I mean, there ain't no mind about it. It seems suspect to me. When you pick it and they just all give you all these praise and they don't clearly explain what the transition between changes in Kratos and whatnot, how valid they were, and why he became compassionate, why he became humorous, and all that stuff. But between why they didn't, you can do that spoiler free, and none of them really touch base. Some of them were contradictory. Some of them were. One of them said he was still the brute Kratos. He always is, and I've seen some of that in the gameplay. But how does that play out in the narrative? Because, like they've also said he is more compassionate, and more humorous at times. So you've really got to start to question things when things become contradictory, and that's at the point I'm at right now, because I'm not buying what they're selling, the reviewers out there. I'm not buying it. Just and like some of the people I've seen on my timeline say they're gonna go in blind and experience it for themselves and see what they think about it. I think that's a good approach. I think don't buy what the reviewers are selling you. It could be good, it could be bad. I'm not saying they're wrong. Just go in if you're really intent on buying the game day one and then seeing it for yourself before it gets spoiled. Yes, just do that. See it for yourself. Figure it out for yourself. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong with having your own opinions about the game. These are, of course, what I've said in this video is my own opinion. I am, a longtime fan of Kratos and God of War series. What he was, I don't know about what he is now, but hopefully they didn't let people influence them, and they chose of their own accord to create Kratos in a different light, and I'm hoping that's the case. So I think more compassionate Kratos under the certain circumstances would be all right. I think that would be all right to see more understanding change in Kratos with his son, But I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, folks. I am stuck here. Looking for a question mark. But I like Terra. Very good game so far. Very good free-to-play experience. Got some cool-looking characters, male, female, whatever. Creatures. Very good creature design. Yep. There's who I'm looking for. Yeah, let's see. But yeah, definitely choose. I think you gotta unlock the brawler class. I unlocked it later on after I created a couple of different characters. I think you had to meet a certain level of one of your characters, rank up to a certain level, and you could get the brawler for the human class. And that's what I did. I created a humans. Human brawler. I like the brawler class. Really good stuff. You know, I know that's off topic of this video, but really good character class. One of the most powerful, in my opinion. If you want to get into Terra, definitely go the brawler route. I suggest that. It's one of the classes you unlock, so it's going to be you're going to have to create another character first to get to that point. But like I said in a previous video, characters are server specific. They do not carry over to different servers. Thus, you will have the opportunity to create, you know, different character and enjoy that character, you know, pretty easily. Get back up to, you know, the point where you are with the other characters. I will say, like, the initial playthrough, like, it's easy to get pretty high in the pretty far in the game, pretty leveled up to just, I don't know, just by hidden in the bush. I remember this, like, she's actually literally hidden in the bush. Let's see if she's around here. But yeah, definitely give this game a try if you haven't. Very streamlined, very refined, very user friendly. Definitely gets my pick as one of the better free-to-play games on the PSN marketplace. Also, Starlit Adventures. If you have not seen that yet, it is a Dig Dug, Alex Kidd, and it has some Bomberman, you know, light Bomberman elements to it. Definitely check that out. Arcade, high score experience with a you know, a premium well, not a premium currency, but a currency you can buy, and some character DLC, like character DLC with different abilities to make you know, the score easier to deal with, the scoring easier to deal with. But like, you can still get high scores, you can still compete even if you don't pay. Like I said in my video comments section, I've noticed, like, the paid for characters, which cost $8.99 a piece, they have a sort of different ability. In some ways they're similar to other characters that you can unlock through progression, but they don't seem to take away from your ability to obtain the obtainable scores. So you know, that may evolve if I see otherwise, but from what I've seen, that seems to be the case. Seems to be fair playing ground. You know, You can, like, I'd say that even if you didn't pay, you'd have better bragging rights because you actually got the score in a way that wasn't easy. So if you wanted to stream yourself getting that high score, bragging rights there, do that. So off topic again, I know, but this video is went about everywhere it can, and already touched base on everything I want to say about God of War and toxic masculinity and all that crap. But yeah, gonna close this down shortly, and what am I doing? Like, I'm supposed to be looking for somebody, and you can get turned around on this map so easy, so easy. Oh, it shot me in the butt.